Hello and welcome to episode number 25 of AEW Rise to the Top. We are a quarter of the way to 100 episodes already. And what a way to celebrate that. We are coming at you with full gear pay-per-view. This is going to be huge. We have 4 pre-show matches, including a 10-woman battle royal to find out the next contender for the AEW Women's Championship. And we have 9 main card matches. 9. It's gonna be huge. Our last pay-per-view was All Out, which got a 70 rating, so fingers crossed we can beat that today. And I'm too excited. I'm just gonna jump straight into it. I'll be back in a sec. Okay, so we are kicking off with Jamie Hayter taking on the former women's champion Hikaru Shida. And it is Jamie Hayter who picks up the victory in 9 minutes 55 by pinfall with a handful of tights, getting the cheeky win. She's picked up 2 wins over her now, 1 in tag team action recently and 1 now in singles action. Former women's champion Hikaru Shida can't seem to beat Jamie Hayter. Anyway, this segment got a 42 rating. Jamie Hayter had a 41, Shida had a 37. She was really off her game. She was indeed. A pretty vocal crowd didn't seem particularly thrilled. How do we see? Yes, so you can see here the announcers for tonight: Jim Ross, Tony Schiavone, and Taz. Thank you for the person in the comments suggesting this lineup. Hopefully, we won't get any of the bad what's it called? Announcing quality. Apart from me. Anyway, let's move on to the next segment where we have Jungle Boy taking on Jack Evans. And it is Jungle Boy who picks up the victory in 8 minutes and 2 seconds via pinfall. Segment got a 58. Jungle Boy with a 46. Jack Evans with a 58. A nice little matchup here. Let's just quickly breeze through the pre-show and get on to the main event. So, let's move on to the next matchup, where it is the Rascals. Oh, damn. The Rascals taking on Proud and Powerful Santana and Ortiz, and it is the Rascals who managed to pick up the upset victory in their first showing not on Dark, when Desmond Xavier pinned Ortiz with a roll-up. Desmond Xavier carried the match in terms of in-ring performance. So Wentz got a 66, Xavier got an 80, Ortiz got 70, and Santana got a 68. This match got a 73. That's a bloody great pre-show match. That's a bloody great match. Santana's gimmick is getting stale, so maybe we'll tweak that in the future. Honestly, the only penalty was Santana for inconsistency. I really thought that it wouldn't be that high. But 73 for the pre-show match is amazing. So now let's move on to the 10-women Battle Royal featuring Bea Priestley, Cheerleader Melissa, Ivelisse, Chris Statlander, Maria Manic, Nyla Rose, Penelope Ford, Shanna, Tainara Mello, and Yuka Sakazaki. This has got put down as terrible. So like I said, the winner of this match will go on to face whoever comes out of the AEW Women's Championship match as the champion, either the challenger, Tenille Dashwood, or the current champion, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. And so the final 4 were Cheerleader Melissa, Maria Manic, Nyla Rose, and Bea Priestley. And a bloody all-heel final. So it was Nyla Rose out first, then Bea Priestley. So it was down to Maria Manic and Cheerleader Melissa, and it was Maria Manic who picks up the victory and will take on the will fight for the women's championship in the coming weeks. We're continuing our our trend, apparently, of having people that the crowd don't like challenging for the title. Ivelisse debuted her bitch gimmick, which got an initial rating of great, which is lovely to see. Ivelisse, obviously, she's been doing stuff in real life. Just signed her into a contract here in the game. This got a 46 rating, so this brings us to the end of the pre-show. This is going to be a long thing with loads of penalties, so I'm not going to go through all that. So yeah, that was the pre-show. Now let's recap the gimmick changes quickly. Let's see what it says. Loses damage popularity more than usual. Can be penalised for losing. Will be penalised for taking part in comedy bouts. Okay, that's alright. We don't do too much comedy stuff anyway. But anyway, now let's move on to the main show. So we are coming at you live in front of 35,446 people from the Carrier Dome. And we're kicking off in classic AEW fashion with the Tag Team Championship match. It's Private Party taking on FTR. FTR, obviously the current champions. These guys have been in dueling promos back and forth. You know, FTR have Tully Blanchard in their corner. They've got MJF backstage cheering them on. You know, they're part of the Four Horsemen. They're doing stuff. So in a bout that had good wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd, and still your tag team champions FTR pick up the win in 14 minutes 34. FTR make defense number 2 of the AEW World Tag Team Champion titles. The first one was against the Broken Bad Boys, who we haven't seen since then at all. This segment got a 75, which is a lovely way to kick off the show. Mark Quinn getting a 64, Cassidy with a 68, and then Cash with a 75 and Dax with a 73. Everyone's got good chemistry together, of course. These two teams have been going together for ages. The only penalties was Dax Harwood for a poor gimmick and a penalty due to the storyline's low heat. So now let's move on to the next segment, which just shows FTR celebrating in the ring, and that brings to a close this Tag Team Championship storyline. Overall, so far, Tag Team Championships, I've kind of dropped the ball slightly. I feel like I didn't really build up FTR enough to win the belts. I just knew I wanted them to win the belts. But, you know, I've got plans. We've got plans going forward. This is the thing, right? Everything now is properly planned out. Whereas before I was kind of like, who should they face next? And I kind of did it. Whereas now, you know, I've got things in place. But anyway, this got a 68 rating. Just a nice little thing. Them celebrating in the ring. Before we move on to our next matchup, which is Big Swole taking on Tony Storm. Big Swole of the Dark Order taking on the newcomer Tony Storm. These two have been feuding since Tony Storm's debut when Big Swole attacked her after coming out to greet her. And in about that had a decent reaction from the crowd, but subpar wrestling. It is shockingly Big Swole who picks up the victory in 14 minutes and 4 seconds with a roll-up. Cheeky little roll-up by Big Swole to put away Tony Storm. It didn't come up there, but it was also should have also been Mr. Brody Lee distracting Tony Storm, which led to the victory for Big Swole, but that didn't come up here. But it happened, so come on. So the segment got a 43 rating. Big Swole only got 36, which isn't very good. Tony Storm getting a 52, which is nice, and they didn't seem thrilled with Tony Storm. Mr. Brody Lee did do some good work at ringside, which is nice. Only 2 penalties, negative crowd reaction for Tony Storm, and a poor gimmick for Tony Storm. But yeah, that needs to go away. She's great. Why do the crowd just hate women in this? Anyway, let's move on to the next segment, where we see backstage of an independent wrestling show. Legs covered in blue tights walk past the camera. We cut to wrestlers whispering to each other as the figure walks past. We see a silhouette, and then words come on screen. The secret will be revealed. This gets a 59 rating. Very nice. I don't want to click on the dirt sheet in case it comes up with who it is. But once again, any ideas, leave your comments in the comment section down below. See if you can guess who it's going to be. The secret will be revealed very soon. Let's move on to the next matchup. Actually get in there. We have Chris Jericho taking on Darby Allin. Darby Allin has run the Inner Circle gauntlet. He beat Santana, he beat Ortiz, he beat Scorpio Sky, he beat Sammy Guevara, and now, finally, he gets his chance at Chris Jericho after Chris Jericho attacked him so many weeks ago. And in a bout that had fantastic heat and great wrestling, it is Darby Allin who picks up the victory over the former world champion with a coffin drop. Segment got an 84 rating. How good. The Inner Circle, Chris Jericho had a 67, which is really quite poor for him. But Darby Allin had an 82. The Inner Circle storyline advanced and gained heat, but then it ended, so whatever. Jim Ross and Excalibur, who shouldn't have been there, but I guess he was. I missed them changing him on that one. Darby Allin benefited from a hot new move. This match got the crowd hotter, and Darby Allin took a stump bump. Oh, were there any penalties in this? Chris Jericho for inconsistency and declining physical ability. Okay. That's, when you get an 84, who cares? So far, this has been a very nice show. Let's move on to the next segment, where we have Kathy Kelly interviewing Jon Moxley backstage. And she says, John, this may be the biggest night of your career. How do you feel going into this match? And Moxley says, Omega is one tough son of a bitch, but I'm tougher. I've beaten him before, and I'll beat him again. 69 rating, just a little backstage promo before the match. Get Kathy Kelly on, and she's not been on TV in a while. She did not come out looking good. I need to script her every time. Remember. Jon Moxley was amazing, though. Apparently, the World Championship storyline advanced. Kathy Kelly got penalised for a poor gimmick. But still a 69 is still really good. That's probably all just Jon Moxley's star power. But anyway, let's move on to the next matchup. Here we go. And it is the Trios Tag Team Championship match with Pac, Pentagon Jr. and Dragon Lee, the new look Death Triangle, taking on Cody, Matt and Nick Jackson, the Elite. So obviously the storyline coming into this match, the Elite are dickheads. Like, simple as that. They hit Rey Fenix with a car, they took him out more, they put him on the shelf for 6 months, but they did not see Dragon Lee coming in. And so in a superb match lasting 15 minutes and 1 second, your new Trios champions are Pac, Pentagon Jr. and Dragon Lee, the Death Triangle. 86 rating is huge. I put this on Still the Show because, like I said last episode, when you've got 6 people who are this good in the ring, you just let them steal the show. So Dragon Lee got an 86, same as Nick Jackson. Pentagon had a 61, which is really disappointing, to be honest. Pac had an 84, Matt had a 78, and Cody had a 77. And the trio storyline ended with this segment. Just amazing. Loads and loads of hot new moves. 86 rating. I'm fairly sure that's the highest rated match we've had. Who knows? Pac was penalised for inconsistency, so was Pentagon Jr. And then Pentagon and Matt were both penalised for low morale. Your new Trios Tag Team Champions, the Death Triangle. Who knows where this is going? What's going to happen with the Elite now they've lost the championships? Who's going to be the next contenders? We'll all find out in the weeks to come. Don't you worry. Let's move on to the next segment. Oh God, this is terrible. No! Oh no. So Deonna Purrazzo makes an elaborate entrance. She's been the protege of Cheerleader Melissa. This gets an 11. Oh, this is going to kill the show. Deonna Purrazzo and Cheerleader Melissa are a very poor combination. I've built a whole storyline around them not being that. But she's getting... Oh, God. She's getting better at her gimmick, which is good. Let's just get this over with. Yeah, I think you probably would too, to be honest. Oh, God. Look, we have Melina. I got her in on a one-night deal to be totally squashed by Deonna Purrazzo. Why is she so bad in this game? Jesus. So it lasted like 7 minutes 39. It's a 16 rating. Everyone hated it. They didn't like seeing Deonna Purrazzo. They didn't have chemistry. It had an awkward bout. Cheerleader Melissa and Deonna Purrazzo are a bad combination. The crowd were turned off. But, as planned, this did bring the match down a little bit. I'm so annoyed that Cheerleader Melissa, I had this whole thing planned out. That's all going to change now. So many penalties. Just don't even. Let's just move on. Look, it was a slight blip in an otherwise lovely evening. So next up, we have a hype video for the main event, Kenny Omega versus Jon Moxley. I really wanted to build up this match, make it really feel as important as I think this match would be in real life. So let's move on to the next matchup, where we have MJF taking on Shawn Spears for the TNT Championship. And remember, if Shawn Spears loses this matchup, he is fired. So in a battle that had good heat and decent wrestling, MJF picks up the victory, but Shawn Spears gets disqualified. MJF had a performance of 57, Shawn Spears had a performance of 51. TNT Championship storyline advanced and gained heat. Just ignore the bottom one, I forgot to take tally off of him again. 56 rated matchup. So what does this mean? MJF wins, so Shawn Spears is fired, but Shawn Spears got disqualified, so he doesn't lose the championship. Let's take a look. So after the bell rings, the crowd are in a stunned silence. Oh yeah, he got disqualified. He's the chairman of AEW. He whacked MJF in the head with a chair. So Spears opens the chair and sits down. MJF comes to and is smiling. He's won. He claws his way to the ref's feet and reaches for the belt, but the ref hands the belt to Spears. Spears takes it and laughs. He gives MJF the middle finger while MJF is screaming and smashing the mat. Spears leaves Max in the ring and walks to the back. What's going to happen? You'll have to tune in to find out. Pretty crazy, right? It's got a 59 rating. Pretty nice little rating here. Both of them penalised for low morale. But yeah, so Shawn Spears, is he fired? Is he still the champion? Who knows? We'll have to watch Dynamite to find out. But next up, a very consistent match here. Mr. Brody Lee of the Dark Order taking on Hangman Adam Page. And can Mr. Brody Lee make it 2-0 for the Dark Order at Full Gear? No, he can't. Hangman Page picks up the victory in 11 minutes 50 seconds with the last shot. Lariat. The segment got a 75 rating, which is lovely. Brody Lee and Hangman Page 73. Nothing too special. No greens there, but nothing bad. No penalties either. Just a nice. This one was a wild brawl, so just a nice, consistent match between two great workers. And Hangman Page picks up another win. And you've got to think that no matter what happens in the main event, Kenny Omega is still the focus in Adam Page's mind. He's put the Dark Order behind him. Surely he's still focusing on Kenny Omega. Let's move on to the next segment, where we have an angle featuring Britt Baker. We see a video play of a neat and tidy doctor's office. Britt Baker enters the shot. Hello and welcome to a very special edition of The Waiting Room. Now I know you all missed me on Dynamite this week, but I had some very important appointments I needed to keep. Most of you people wouldn't understand the demand of working two jobs, but that's why I made this video, to speak to you all. You see, I understand that without me your lives are empty, and that goes double for Tenille Dashwood. But luckily for you guys at home, I'm not going anywhere, and this belt isn't leaving my waist anytime soon. Anyway, enjoy the match. Bye. So a waiting room segment that we didn't get on Dynamite comes just before the Women's Championship matchup, the co-main event. This segment got a 59, which is very nice. No penalties, which is lovely. Once again, the waiting room consistently getting those high 50s, which is beautiful. So now let's move on to that Women's Championship match. Dr. Britt Baker taking on Tenille Dashwood, and in a bout that had a decent reaction from the crowd, but subpar wrestling, lasting 11 minutes 35 seconds, and still your women's champion, Dr. Britt Baker. DMD makes her first title defense. She wasn't going to lose the title in the first one, was she? Come on now. Don't be ridiculous. The segment got a 43 rating. Tenille Dashwood got a 46. Dr. Britt Baker got 47. The crowd still didn't like seeing Tenille Dashwood, and the Women's Championship storyline gained heat, which is annoying because I should have ended it in this match. A couple penalties for negative crowd reaction, poor gimmick, and inconsistency, but nothing too crazy going on. But now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for your main event of the evening. it's time. Well, not quite, We have a short video package saying that Maria Manic will face Dr. Baker, DMD, shortly, in the next few weeks. But now, now it's time for the main event of Full Gear. It's Kenny Omega taking on the AEW World Champion, Jon Moxley. And in an exceptional match, lasting just over 25 minutes, your new world champion, Kenny Omega, picks up the win with a one-winged angel. Kenny Omega had a performance of 82. Jon Moxley had 91. Losing the title in style. Segment got a 75 rating, which is really nice. I was kind of hoping for a bit higher, but maybe epic isn't the best way to go. I'm not really sure. I thought, segment was penalised for crowd starting to get burnt out. Jon Moxley was penalised for struggling with the psychology of a slow build. Okay, yeah, so maybe the epic match type wasn't the best to go for this, but Kenny Omega goes from tag team champion to world champion in a matter of weeks. Insane skill by that man. And there's a new world champion in AEW. The reign of Kenny Omega begins here tonight. Now let's move on to the final segment of Full Gear, where Kenny starts to celebrate with his new championship. He's laughing and he's got a crazy look in his eye. Mox finally starts to get back up to his feet, and then Kenny hits him with the V-trigger. Kenny sits over Mox, rubbing the title onto his face and laughing. He then starts to smash the belt into Mox's face over and over until blood is gushing out. Kenny is then stopped by someone grabbing his arm. He looks up to see Riho with tears in her eyes. You faintly hear her say stop, and Kenny stops. He stops hitting Mox and he stops laughing. He climbs off Moxley and slumps into the corner. Riho helps Moxley to his feet and walks him up the ramp. We go off air, seeing Riho looking back at Omega and Kenny just staring at his new belt. It's got a 76 rating. Omega is legitimately gone insane. And Riho, obviously, these two partners in Japan, Kenny Omega's personal choice of partner in Japan, the first ever women's champion. Not the man that she knew looking at her now. But the World Championship storyline ended with that segment. Moxley came out looking excellent. Riho was underwhelming, but did do a masterful job of improvising. Oh, where does this go from here? Riho was penalised for poor momentum, and the segment rating was penalised for a burnt-out crowd. I didn't calm the crowd enough, I guess. But still, 76 rating, a really nice way to end the pay-per-view. Who knows what's coming next, but what we do know is that tonight you've got a new world champion. You've got... Is there another new champion? New trios champions. That's the one. And all the other titles have stayed in the hands of the people who held them coming in. But let's finish the show and let's see the rating. We're hoping to beat 70, to beat All Out. Let's see how we get on. We got an 80. We got an 80 for a pay-per-view. That's so good. That's not 3 80s in a row, but 3 of the last 4 weeks have been 80 rated shows. I just didn't do that stupid Deonna Purrazzo rubbish that I thought would be good. But anyway, it increased our popularity in 41 regions. We had 2 American, 7 Canadian and 6 British regions that would have grown, but the growth was restricted due to the number of viewers there. But I'm so happy with that. The pay-per-view, the Rascals getting a 73 in the pre-show, the 75 opener, the 84 Darby Allin, Chris Jericho, the 86 Trios Tag Team Championship match. That one I was kind of expecting to be low, the TNT, because of the dodgy finish. But still getting 56 and 59 is pretty good. 75 for Hangman Page, 43 for the Women's Championship, and then 75 and 76 for that harrowing ending to the show. So let's make a speech. Who did well? Dragon Lee did amazingly, and we're going to praise him for a great performance. Who else? I kind of want to go for the Rascals, but I'm like, I shouldn't really go for the Rascals. Moxley was 91 rated, so we've got to give him praise him for a great performance. And then, you know what? Let's go MJF, and let's say complimented on a good performance, because we need him to be a little bit happier with us. So we can see who it was before. Dr. Baker, Shawn Spears, and Kenny Omega were done for All Out, so that's fine. None of the same people. And then Omega, Pac, and MJF for that. So let's play. Dragon Lee seems pleased, John Moxley seems pleased, and MJF seems pleased, which is lovely. So now let's head back to the home screen. I'm so happy with that. Let's see the buy rates. Let's see the news. Let's see the emails. Let's do all of that stuff. Oh, we're up against War Games. Oh, damn, we were up against War Games. Okay, we'll have a look at that in a second. Let's see what it says about us on the news. The feedback has been excellent. It seems they really struck gold with this show. The feedback, they're saying the same thing, so it's going to be tight. The MVP of the show is Adam Cole, who regains his title after defeating Matt Riddle. Impact has a new team. Hernandez and Alicia Edwards. Explosion. Progress tag team. Okay, Jake Atlas is recovering, and WWE sign that twat. Anyway, so Full Gear, let's see what we did. We got a buy rate of 1.25, which is 627,000 buys. I don't know if that's good. I can't remember what the other ones were. I should have looked beforehand, but we got an 80 rating. Let's see NXT. So 80 and a 1.25. 77. Oh, it was shown on the WWE Network, so it doesn't have a buy rate, of course. But, oh my god, Adam Cole defeating Matt Riddle got 95. Wow. Austin Theory and Cameron Grimes, 79. Bright Lights defeated the All-Star team. Daivari and Thatcher, it's a weird combo, but that still getting a 70. Triple H interview, of course, because why would they not? Shotzi Blackheart, I like Shotzi Blackheart a lot. I think she's cool. Serena Deeb. There we go. Now an AEW wrestler in real life. So we had a better show than War Games. War Games. That's my William Regal impression. They did not have a War Games match. At War Games. Did they not have a War Games match? They didn't have a War Games match. At War Games. Who's Indy Hartwell? Is she Vanessa Bourne? No. Her name is she looks quite similar. No, she doesn't even look similar to Thingy. They didn't have a War Games match at War Games. I'm stunned, and also I'm horrified by that. Anyway, Progress got 59. Trent Seven, Chris Brooks. Whatever. Let's look at the emails. Drugs test. Yeah, well, that's fine. 643,000 viewers and 627,000 buys. So let's look really quickly at the top 100. So top 100 events, Full Gear, top event, top 100 matches, Pac, Pentagon. Two of our top matches, our best two matches came in that show, which is just lovely. Just really nice to see. Top 10 attendances, our highest attended show by a couple thousand. Pay-per-view buy rates. All Out was bigger. All Out had a better buy rate. TV ratings, that's fine. And viewers, again, that's fine. But yeah, we did it. I said I got a feeling this could be our best show, and it's joint best, but still the best. Let's just end by looking at the champions. Still, the TNT Championship with a prestige level score. Not level, of 53. We have Shawn Spears, who's currently been reigning for 102 days, 3 successful title defenses, beat Cody for the title. The Trios Tag Team Championships with prestige of 71. Currently been going for 1 day, and they've had no title defenses so far, one off the Elite, who didn't have a single successful title defense. The Women's World Championship with a prestige of 45. I'm going to be trying to boost that. has been going for 71 days with one successful title defense so far for Britt Baker. The AEW World Championship has prestige of 70, so the Trios tag team is more prestigious than our World Championship. If you click on it, does it tell you? It doesn't tell you how many days they had it for, did it? Does it? Just says from then to then. But Kenny Omega, the new world champion, 1 day. But Jon Moxley had it for, I don't know, a long time, and 5 defenses. And then finally, the World Tag Team Championships, 57 prestige. They've been champions for 71 days with 2 successful title defenses. Let's track the prestige to see. So that's improved recently, which is good. This one has stayed at 70 the whole time. The Women's Championship stayed at 45 the whole time. Trios tag has increased by 1. TNT Championship, see, it's going in the right direction. And the Casino Ladder match, I mean, we don't really care about that. But anyway, that's going to do it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed Full Gear. I did a lot. I hope you're excited to see what comes next, because the fun don't stop here, boys and girls. Anyway, if you enjoyed this episode, please like, comment, subscribe, tell a friend. I'm happy with how this one turned out. I'm very happy with how this turned out. So yeah, if you enjoyed it, just like, comment, have a nice day. And I'll see you for the next episode very soon. Goodbye.